everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Vokey.
We are back at the Club Tap Room.
Yep, we're back again.
Thank you, Club Tap Room, by the way, for having us here. And actually, Christine made us a drink this time. So,
yeah. Well, she poured me a Pepsi.
Jack and Coke, hold the Jack. You're going to hang out with your daughter after this, all right?
Yeah, I have a daughter-daddy date after we're done. So
nice. What are you going to watch?
We're going to go see Elvis.
Oh, okay.
She has been dying to see that since before it came out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So,
Brentley's an old soul, huh?
both my girls are.
Are they?
Yeah. So.
We have a guest today.
You do?
The old mayor of Fort Morgan, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Ron Schaefer, I think we've met before. Did you do the police? When did the police comedy show in Brush? Did you end up getting to go to that or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I was out in the ocean fishing at that time.
That's right. Because Rick Bain, our mayor, had contacted you. Yeah, but you guys pitched in on that. That was very cool of you. Ron's actually a big member of the NRA around here in Fort Morgan.
I am. We're part of the members of the, actually co-chair, and my wife's the treasurer for Morgan County Friends of the NRA, and we do a lot of the banquets that we have once a year. Hold them out at Long Meadows.
Cool.
Pretty good for banquet.
Right.
They serve up a dinner. We have auctions. I think the last one we went through gave out 65 guns.
Nice.
That evening. So, yeah, it's usually held around February, first part of February.
Right.
It's a good time.
NRA is
like-minded people getting together.
Cool. Is it a membership thing?
Nope. Don't have to be a member of the NRA. It's come one, come all.
Just
families, kids. Yep. We have kids come out. We do kids games.
Cool.
So yeah, we put a flyer out each year. And,
I'm going to have to watch for that.
Yeah.
I'll put you on our list and get a flyer to you.
I just joined the NRA about 2 months ago. So I'm a newbie.
A newbie?
Is there a website they can look at or a Facebook you have here for the local?
There is a website. It's Morgan County Friends of NRA.
Okay.
And, we try to keep things posted on there and put out a flyer. So,
if you're interested in that, by the way, so what we'll do, Ron, is on the description of this for YouTube or any of the podcast, look in the description. We'll have a link to that website so they can just check it out there. Also on the Bullhucker.com is our website. You can check out. We'll have a link to there under. If you go to where it says "As Seen on the Bullhucker," we'll have a link to your stuff there. So,
awesome.
They can definitely click on it if you're wanting to join or just check out any of the events. That's awesome. There's something else you're into. I think Christine was telling me. A business or something.
My firearms business.
Okay.
I do the guns for the NRA.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of the estate sales where they have guns and that in there where I take them and do the background checks and such as that. So, and do a little bit of gunsmithing here and there. I don't really advertise. It's all word of mouth. Kind of friends and people that know me know how to get a hold of me.
Is there a secret knock you have to do when you go there?
No, just see me on the street or give me a call and we can get you taken care of.
Awesome. We'll try and put that information as well so they can check you out, man, for sure.
That's good to know. I have a shotgun I need you to look at. You don't want to inject.
Oh, okay. I can sure do that. I do a lot for regular shooting clubs around here. They bring them in. They got more money than I do, I guess, and they want me to clean them, go through them, and that. So, nice little side hobby, and
cool.
It's
nice little side hustle.
Yeah, as my dad said, if you enjoy what you're doing, you're never working.
That's true. Yeah,
right.
Find something you love, you'll never do another day of work in your life. Right?
Exactly.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker Podcast. What we do here is we bring on a guest. Today's Ron Schaefer. Ron's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. The kicker is only 2 of these stories are true. One's either made up, borrowed, or halfway made up. Now, Ron, don't go into a lot of detail to give it away, but is it a borrowed story? Is it a made-up story or partially made up?
Well, they're all true. One will be a little elaborated.
So it's partially made up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's the most popular.
Yeah, those are the most popular and the hardest.
And well, actually, the borrowed
would be the hardest
because it's a borrowed story. It's true. It's just somebody else's truth. Yeah, it's tough. If you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner. It's a little red dot that subscribes to the podcast, helps us out. And it's a
small click for you, but a huge click for us.
Ba-boom. And also, no matter what you're on, what platforms, whether it be iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever, or it's not iTunes anymore, is it? It's Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating and review. It's really appreciated. Adam will hug you in public. He's an amazing hugger. We've talked about that in length.
Yep. High five, hug. It's up to you.
It's not creepy, Ron. It's just right under pressure. He gives you two strong pats. Right. You don't feel weird about it the whole time. You feel like you've been hugged and you feel like you've been loved a little bit, but not in the weird way where you have to get a lawyer involved. So that's good.
No lawyers.
No lawyers.
No lawyers for this, Mr. Vokey. So, Ron, are you ready to tell some stories, my man?
I'm here ready.
I'm excited for this one. Okay, Adam, you want to read them off to us?
We got Halloween porch prank, Reno job gone wrong, collecting debt from friend.
Okay. All right. Well, am I picking first? Or you picking first?
You can pick first.
You picked first the last time we were here. So, okay. So Halloween porch pranks. I know you know me. I always know the one I want to hear the most. So I try and save that one to the last. Although the last time we were here at the Lissa, you picked the boomer on the first one, man. She came out hot with her first story. I was like, it was a great story, man. Very interesting. So, out of all these, I'm going to go ahead and pick collecting debt from friends, because I've always told my grandfather, never, if you want to get rid of somebody, lend them money. You'll never see them again.
Grandpas know a lot.
Grandpas know a lot.
Yeah, they do. This was back, I grew up in San Diego, and I had a guy that I went through high school with. He was a year behind me. He graduated, and his dad was a preacher. Kind of an odd family structure.
Right.
Mark was one of those that a wheeler dealer, and you always wondered what his true motives were at times. And he had come up and said, he was doing just fantastic. And about a month later, I had ran across him. I got transferred and was working up in Riverside. I came back down to San Diego for a long weekend, and we're sitting there talking, and he says, I really need to borrow some money. Deb and I are having a tough time, and I'm short on cash, and my dad's got this big deal in the wind. So $400, late 70s was a chunk of change for me.
Yeah, with inflation now, that's a couple grand.
Yeah. A couple tanks of gas.
Yeah. like two. Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, well, it depends. Mine's about 150 right now in my pickup. But, I thought, okay, I like Deb, and Mark was an okay guy, son of a preacher. So I gave him the money, and I went back. I came back from Riverside, and I had quit my job. And I was moving to Colorado with my wife, and she was my girlfriend at the time. And so I went to his house to pick up the money. He said he would have it. And as we were sitting there shooting the breeze, having a beer, and all of a sudden somebody busted in the door, and about 5 guys came in and stuck guns to our head.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic. And they pushed me into the first bathroom right off the living room, and they had Mark going through all of his stuff in the house and wanting all this. Well, when they came out, they had a big bag of white powder.
Oh, jeez.
And it was crank.
Not
methamphetamine, whatever it was, but it was called crank at the time. And took my wallet, scammed it. I mean, they just flat ass robbed us.
Right.
Mark, he jumps up and he's all Twitter-pated about it.
Yeah.
And, we sat there and he goes, well, I guess that's the end of your money. No. I mean, you can get the money, Mark. I'm leaving in a week. And he just kind of put me off. And he had a garage full of 3-wheelers and compressors, and what he was doing was you want some crank? Here you go. You can't pay. He would take all this merchandise in, and he had a garage full of it.
Right.
Sell some of this stuff. I'm out of here. I'm leaving, and that money was going to help me and Donna get out of California to Colorado.
Right.
And he said, "All right, well, I'll have your money by Wednesday." So I go back over Wednesday, and he's giving me the hem and hawing, and then I got pissed. I said, I know you've got the money here somewhere. You're just you're putting me off, is what he was doing.
Oh yeah. He's
So
playing
he had a
games.
big can of gasoline in there, a 3-gallon. I took it and I swung it around in his garage all over the shit, just a little whirly bird.
Yeah.
And I said, "Mark, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go in there and get me my $400, or I'm going to light this trail into your garage." Probably, hindsight, probably wasn't the smartest way to go about it, but it sure got me my $400 back. And to this day, I still have never seen or heard of him, but he did get arrested just before they passed that law where if you were within a certain range of a high school, he would go to prison immediately, and pretty substantial penalty for it. Well, he got arrested just before that law passed, that he was manufacturing methamphetamine right next to a school.
Right.
And so that was the last I've ever seen of him. But I did get my $400
That's good.
back.
That's good.
Probably wasn't the most appropriate way, but
it's your money, dude. I'm surprised he tried to borrow money from him. If he's got a room full of ATVs and everything else,
Well, I mean, it was all just stuff.
Right.
He had compressors. He had tools. He had and he was a wheeler dealer. And I guess moral is preachers' sons and daughters aren't always what they're supposed to be. Didn't learn from mom and dad.
Well, no, isn't that the truth though? The worst kids are always cops' kids. Preachers' kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are always the ones that are tough, though. That's a crazy story, right? It's like a little pawn shop in there.
That's what I was saying, like a little drug dealer pawn shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when they arrested him for manufacturing the meth,
right?
They found semi-trailers full of that type of stuff.
Oh wow.
So yeah, he was.
What year was this, Ron? You think?
77.
I'll be down.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's insane.
He was a pioneer then, I guess, huh? I don't know when meth hit the scene, but
he was an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't nobody trusted him after that.
Right.
But yeah, it was quite a time in life.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's my grandfather. That's what he said. Never lend people money because
No, I'll tell you what. It was pretty harrowing coming in there and having a gun stuck to your head.
I bet
it was
a house raid essentially.
Yeah, it was. It was a home invasion because they kicked the door in, came in. We were sitting in the kitchen area, and
well, because they know that stuff's in there.
Well, they did. They did. They had their little ski masks and had kerchiefs on, and they went right through there, grabbed Mark, took him in the back, and got his safe, and then they come walking out with his bag of dope. Well, he had taken my $400 to get what he needed to get what he had.
Right. You want to tell those guys, can you just leave $400 for me, guys? I mean,
I'm out of here anyway. He gave me a free beer.
Yeah. That's I remember when I was working for Budweiser, old Evie there at East Platte Liquor, he made me laugh because he had done that. Some guy was in there begging him for a 40, a King Cobra or something, and I'll pay you tomorrow. And Steve goes, yeah, great, and gives it to him. I go, Steve, just give it to him. He goes, instead of having him in here begging me every day for a 40, I give it to him. So now I won't see him for another 2 weeks because he'll be dodging me. And I go, you know what, Steve? And it cost Steve $1.49 to have 2 weeks apeace. So I thought, you know what? You've been in this a long time. He's a smart man.
Pretty sharp.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
They're good people. They're all the EBs. They're good folks. So, what do you think about that, Vogue?
That was I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the method you used to collect the money.
Yeah.
It might not be the best, but it was effective nonetheless.
Yeah, it was very, very effective. He immediately went into whatever safe he had back there.
And he tells
I
people,
had my $400.
He tells people, don't borrow money from Ron Schaefer. That sumbitch will light you on fire to get it back.
Well, I parked my car or my pickup in the driveway, and I just happened to look there, and it was like, bullshit, because he was telling me he was getting ready to go to the desert. Nope, you're not going anywhere. And
yeah.
But I imagine it smelled like gasoline for quite a while, because I spared it was 3 gallons in a whirly-bird situation.
Right. If you did nowadays, though, I wouldn't give you your $400 because you just spilled $600 with the gas on the damn floor.
I would have just took the gas can.
That's true. He's like, please take the meth of the money. It's worth less. Please. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's a great story. Ron, we are 2 for 2 at the club tap room with people coming in hot on these stories to
start out with.
All right, Wokey, pick it up, bud.
Okay, so I'm kind of doing the moose thing here. I know what I want to hear.
Right.
So I want to, hopefully it's the same one you want to hear, so I'm going to save it for last. I'm going to go Halloween porch prank.
No, I wanted to hear that one last. But that's cool.
Oh, okay.
No, let's do it. That's what you want. Right. Let's hear the Halloween.
Okay.
Halloween porch prank.
Well, we were still in high school. We had a bunch of kids that ran around. We were juniors and seniors.
Right.
And, no, it wasn't, because we would have been driving by then. So we were probably 9th, 10th grade. And this guy came up. We all rode dirt bikes and raced and that. And this jerk-off came up to one of our friends and ran into his motorcycle and trashed it.
Right.
Smashed up the tank and that. And we had a drive-in theater called the Ace Theater, and right by where we lived, and he lived right on the corner there. And so a couple of weeks went by, and this guy would come by where we were hanging out at a buddy's house, and he'd flip us off and scream and holler at us, just kind of a real asshole.
Right.
So Halloween come up, and we were all sitting up at Gary Summers' house and partying in the garage, and shouldn't have been drinking, but we were having a few beers.
Right.
And so we all get the bright idea. Gary says, hey, somebody go shit in the bag. We're going to go light it on the porch for Butthead's porch.
Right.
So they get the bright idea, and as we're hanging there, it's like, no, we want to really do it. So they double up these big paper shopping bags that you got back then. And about 2 or 3 guys went back there and took a dump in it. So where did those little tongs you have is what they were carrying it with. So we all marched down there, and there's probably 10 of us that are there. We all just circle this house, and Gary walks up to the porch and sets it on there. And we had taken a little bottle of lighter fluid, but it was gas. And
you're a dangerous man with the gasoline.
No, this was not me. I was hiding behind the car in the front yard.
Okay.
And Gary gets up there and he pours the gas on it and stuff. And he looks around. Everybody's hidden, and so he knocks on the door first, lights the bag, and it just booms. It doesn't gradually go up with lighter fluid. It was gasoline. It just went. It singed his eyebrows and shit. Well, all of a sudden, this door swings open, and he lived by himself. And when the door opened, it was his grandmother. His grandparents were visiting. And she opens the door, and she says, "Oh, my God, Grandpa, there's a fire on the porch." Well, the butthead, he comes running out, going to be Mr. Studley and save Grandma and Grandpa. Well, Gary didn't have a chance to get up and run too far. There was a bush sitting right there. This guy comes out, and he takes a huge swipe at this fire to knock it off the porch.
Right.
End result, he's covered in head to toe with crook shit. Well, in the process, a big clump of that in a paper bag flies up and hits Gary on the side of the head.
Oh, no.
We all bust up, and about 2 seconds later, we're just all running. everywhere. It was like a bunch of cockroaches coming out of the lights.
Right.
Us kids are running everywhere. They're running to the drive-in theater and scampering under the fence and shit. This guy comes out. He jumps in his car, and it must have been a shit show because it went everywhere. And he climbs back out of there, didn't get it started, and was just screaming and hollering because he got a bunch of shit in his car.
Right.
He didn't know which way to go. He ran this way, he went that way, and both of his parents or grandparents were just sitting there on the porch watching him. That wasn't a very smart thing to do, Elmer.
Yeah. Elmer.
We never knew his name until they said it that night.
Yeah,
I was like, you look like an Elmer, you asshole. Sitting on a bridge.
That's good. That's it serves him a little bit right, I guess.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. He was, and there was no need for what he did to Gary. I mean, it was a new bike. Well, it was new to him.
Right.
In high school, you don't have a lot of money. What you get is precious to you.
Yeah. Well, I agree. The thing I'm thinking, I'd hate to be the third or fourth guy having to shit in that bag. That's so you want to be the first guy to christen that bad boy.
And if I'm going to light it, I guarantee you it's going to be lighter fluid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got back to Gary's house and he had it, and luckily the paper that hit him, the shit was on the other side of it, so it didn't get all over him, but it was still the thought of it. And all of us just were sitting there thinking, oh, Gary's got a turd. I hope it wasn't his.
I hope it was his. You just want it to be your own.
Oh, but it was funny. Young days and stupid shit.
Oh, yeah.
But couldn't get away with half that stuff nowadays.
I was just going to say that, man. There'd be assault. There'd be all kinds of stuff.
Didn't have these, man, thank God. Some of this stuff.
We were talking about that yesterday at that barbecue. I'm glad growing up I didn't have my cell phone. Because
you and me both.
At 16 years old, I would be dodging stuff right and left on that thing, And if it pulled up your memories 30 years ago on this day, I'd be like, oh God.
Well, I definitely wouldn't have been mayor.
I'm on the city council brush. That might not have happened either, Or maybe it would have happened. They've been like, that's just him,
Yeah.
So that's a great story, man. That's kind of where I thought that was going to go. So, what do you think, Adam?
I like that one.
Yeah, it's so do I.
It's fun. So
old school pranks. That prank's been around for so long.
So long.
I mean, you would think if you open your door and there's a flaming bag on there, you're like, do I let it burn the house down or do I get shit on my shoe? Because I'm not fooled anybody. I just start peeing on it, I guess. Just double down on it. So.
Yeah, if I looked and saw a fire on my porch, I'm going to go around the back and come out and surprise the hell out of it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. All right, we got 2 good stories down, Boki. 1 left. The one you want to hear: repo job gone wrong.
Reno job.
Reno.
Not repo.
Yeah, it was a Reno job.
I have a Brush High School education, Ron. It's going to show many times in this podcast.
I was never given much credit for my penmanship, so understand.
Reading and writing is just for the rich folks, Mama said.
Yeah, I can speak it. So, back right after I got out, I left my job up in Riverside. I was working for a hardwood flooring company, and we went and installed specialty hardwood floors. We did basketball gyms, racquetball courts, restaurants, and just specialty stuff. And the guy we worked for that owned it was Beaton's Hardwood Flooring, and Dave Beaton, nickname was Lucifer.
Okay.
And he looked like him. I mean, Dave was a straight businessman. How he functioned, I to this day don't know. But we would go and take all these jobs. Well, we were up around Sunnyvale in Northern California. We were based out of San Diego, so we would go up there and do a job. Well, he picked up a job of some guy wanted him to come by Reno on the way back from Sunnyvale and sand, finish, and game line a basketball court and some racquetball courts for a gym that they were starting up and going to have a quick opening on. So we come in there and spent the extra days, knocked it out really hard. Well, while we were there, we sanded it, we got it all prepped and ready to do the game line, and then put the urethane coating over the top of it. Well, Dave enjoyed his beverage quite a bit, so we're at that point, we can blow the rest of this out the following day. So we go, and that was back when you could go to Vegas and have the steak dinner for $5. You could do buffets.
Right.
So we went and did that, had some drinks and what have you. And Dave was Jack and Coke, but it was Jack and Coke.
Right.
Equal size glasses.
Right.
And so we did that, and Dave says, "You boys ever been to the Mustang Ranch? What, do they got a job there?"
Yeah.
I was never familiar with it. So we pull up there, and it's like, wow, this looks like a prison. There's big pearly gates, and you walk up there, they buzz the gates open for you. So we go in there, and all these gals line up. Hell, we're 18, 19 years old.
Prime.
Wow. Pick the one you want, or go to the bar and take the one you fancy. There, just make yourselves at home. So we're sitting there, just 18, man. We're in heaven.
Wow, my God, yes.
So, well, we spend a bit of our money. Then we leave there. We go back and get in the casino, and Dave gets in there, and he's the only one. We're not 21.
What's up, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. So he's coming back. Well, he keeps coming back to where we're at in the hotel, and he goes, "Hey, I'm on a streak, but I need some more money." So okay, he's the boss. He's the one giving our money. We're giving him all our per diem money. And
oh, shit.
The next morning, Dave wakes up, and he would always, when he comes to bed, opens a beer, sets it on his nightstand, and a shot of whiskey. First thing in the morning, he gets up, slams that, lights a cigarette, pops up in bed, and I don't know how he never had a hangover, but my God, that guy could drink.
Well, you got to not be drunk for a while to have a hangover, Ron.
Probably.
If you're always drunk, the hangover never comes.
Probably true. Probably true. So he comes in and wants to go to breakfast. And he asks all of it, "How much money you got?" "Well, you took all mine last night. Did you lose it all?" "Oh, son of a bitch, yeah." He said, "I got in there, and, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking about them gals, and oh, shit, what are we doing here, Dave?" "Well, we're going to go back over and finish that job. We'll get it all game lined. We'll lay the stuff out, and I'll get the guy, the GC that's starting it. He'll front me some money, and that. We're going to get paid for this job when we leave because it's a rush job." So we had to work into the night, and Dave had this huge generator that ran all these new metal halide lights in there, and we got it all game line finished, hadn't eaten,
right,
nothing. And Dave says, "All right, we're done. Give me give me my money." And he said, "Give me some of it in cash so we can make it back down to San Diego." The guy says, "Oh, I can't give it to you. I'll mail it to you."
Right.
Dave says, "That's not what I said we would do." And he says, "I'm going to tell you right now, that urethane is not dried. I'm going to take this generator, and I'll fire this son of a bitch up, blow every one of those light bulbs out there. You'll have glass on the floor, and you won't open for a year because you'll get it done." The guy said, "Oh, bullshit. No, you can't." Hey, Dave went out and started the generator, and he said, "All I got to do is flip this switch." And the guy says, "Just hold on. No big deal. I'll go get you some of it. I can't get you all of it. I'll mail you your check." So we're sitting there waiting for it, and all of a sudden the guy comes back. He gives Dave $400. That $400 has followed me forever. And Dave said, "No, that's going to get us fuel and stuff back." So Dave ends up firing up that generator.
Oh, man.
And sure as shit, he blew every one of those lights out of there, and that thin glass went down and was embedded in that urethane. Oh, no. So they postponed their deals, and so we went to a pawn shop, and all the floor sanders and all the equipment we pawned it in the pawn shop. I called my girlfriend, and she was pissed, wouldn't send us any money. Dave's wife, she knew Dave, so you ain't getting shit, bud, on your own.
Dave's wife isn't Dave's wife anymore.
No, she wasn't. When he shot the Christmas tree with a shotgun one night, that was the end of Dave's wife being hit.
Why would he do that?
Well, he liked Jack and Coke, and his temperament would change.
All right, okay.
So, yeah, he could be he came by the nickname Lucifer.
Oh, that's right.
Honestly.
That's right.
So, but we pawned all of our equipment for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
And all of us we drove one box van back there with all of us in there, left the rest of the equipment in the truck up there so we could get back home and get down there, and Dave gathers some money. The guy sends him his check. Well, actually, it wasn't his check. It was one of those cease and desist orders or whatever it was called then, because they were going to sue him and take him to court. So he calls me and asks me to ride back up with him to Reno to pick this up. Now, I'm just with a girlfriend, and she's having no part of it. Right. I wasn't going to. No, I'd had enough. I was done working after that one. So I don't know whatever transpired with the last of that. He died shortly after that of unnatural causes.
Natural or unnatural?
Unnatural.
Okay.
So
can I ask what that means?
Well, he was shot.
Oh.
So Lucifer caught up with him.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, Dave. You were one hell of an ornery bastard.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wanted to go back up and pick up his equipment and stuff, and he couldn't get any of us to go.
Right.
I mean, he had to start from scratch.
Sure, but when you burn guys, you can't expect him to,
Well, he was always good for his money. I
mean,
if he owed it to you, he would pay you. But if you told him, "Hey, let me borrow this, I'll pay you back on Monday," I wanted it 2:00. I mean, he was very precise, and if time didn't come, he'd go Guido on you. So,
that's funny.
Is that where you learned the fuel trick to get your money back? Is from him?
That just might be because Mark worked with him as well. He was.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it could.
It's all connected.
I never really thought about that, but Adam, you could be right.
Yeah, like what would Lucifer do?
That's right. Ron's big book of Lucifer tricks.
Yeah, well, that was the only bad one I ever pulled. I hope.
You know what? You do what you got to do, man, to get your cash back. I thought that said repo job. I was all excited for the repo job. Great story, though.
Yeah,
great story.
It was interesting. I had about 3 or 4 others, and I was like, well, hell, which ones do I want to go with?
Well, I mean, you can always come back on the podcast, too. We can always have Ron 2.0.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Do you have a repo story?
No.
Oh. No. Because I had a repo story about our old boss, Rick, from Budweiser. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember Rick.
His name was Rick Bain, not the old mayor of Brush, Rick Bain, different Rick Bain. But
I know Rick. He worked for Pawnee.
Yeah, no, not that Rick Bain. That's a good man, but
yes, he is.
And both are good guys, but worked for Budweiser, and Rick came in. He was our boss, and I was washing the truck. We had to wash the truck every week. And Rick says, "You got any other clothes besides your Budweiser clothes?" And I go, "Yeah, I got to change the clothes in the car." He goes, "We'll go change. You want to make a couple $100 tonight?" I go, "Okay." I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "Well, I repo cars on the side for a living. For extra cash, I repo cars on the side." I ever told you the story?
Yeah, no, never.
Really?
No.
I'll be damned. I said, "Okay, So he had this old beat up truck, and we climbed in there. And I go, "So what do we do?" He goes, "Well, you paid $300, I think it was, and I'll give you $150, and I'll take $150. We'll pull up. You'll get in the car. We'll drive it back to the lot." Okay. I said, "What are we picking up?" He goes, "A Porsche." I go, "I gotta be honest, I don't think I can fit in a Porsche." He goes, "It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine." And Rick's he was notoriously ornery, like one of the most ornery men I've ever met in my life. So we're driving. He goes, "Open the glove compartment." I go, "Okay." There's a pistol in there. He goes, pull that gun out. Put it on the seat. I go, what's that for? He goes, sometimes when you take people's cars, they shoot at you. I shoot back. I go, oh, okay. At this point, I'm doing this like pumping myself up, Ron. Like I'm ready to get down. Like I'm a huge target, Ron. You shoot at me, you're gonna hit me.
Somewhere.
Yeah, someone's in me. So it turns out there was no car, there was no repo. He wanted help moving a big piece of carpet he saw in someone's alley. He pulls up. He's like, let's grab this carpet. I go, and the car? He goes, there's no car, asshole. You're not making money. I help him move that damn carpet. And he's like, no, go wash your truck. I go, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. If I find out this carpet's stolen, I'm going to rat. I'm going to snitch on you so hard. You piece of shit. So, yeah. I never told you that story with Rick.
The gun part kind of started ringing some bells.
Yeah. I shoot back. I wasn't all prepared for that. So
slapping yourself, pounding your chest. I'm getting after this.
Ready to go to war, Ron. Like shit's going down. Let's do this. For $150.
Things we do.
But Ron, I needed the $150.
I know that time.
I was ready to squeeze my fat ass into a Porsche 911 and drive it like the big gorilla on that cartoon. What was it?
Gray Babe?
Yes, whatever it was. Okay. What'd you think about that story?
I liked it. That was a good one too.
That's construction based. That's up your alley. So yeah. He's a safety guy for a construction company. So
okay,
works for Big Johnson Construction.
So
all right, you guys did the field house.
Yep, we did.
Oh, did you guys really?
Yeah.
You were the mayor
for that. Local.
Okay.
I was.
Yeah.
That was, and we had our city manager. We tasked him with, here's what you got for the field house, $10 million. Doing it. That's it. We're not going anywhere over it. And Steve went out and did it under $10 million. Used local contractors quite a bit. And,
yeah. How long were you mayor for, Ron?
6 years. I was on council for 10. I worked for the city. I started in '82.
Okay.
I was a director where it started wastewater treatment plant, and then I worked up to the director of utilities. I left the city in 2006, ran for council, and was on council for 10 years.
Nice.
And ran 6 years as mayor consecutive. So
that's awesome.
Yep, I only had one challenger in all those races I had, and it was Ryan and I. Ryan ran against me.
All right. Sorry about that. The TV had started, and I think it's coming through your microphone. I started hearing those voices, and I'm like, does anybody else, what's in this Jack and Coke? Anybody else
I heard him too.
I did. That's what I told Adam. I thought my voices were coming back from haunting me from my past.
You guys can hear those voices too. Shit, it's contagious. We were talking about you being mayor, Ron.
Yeah, so I'd done mayor. And
you only had one contender, you said.
Yeah, the one time I first ran for mayor when it was Ryan and I.
Ryan
Stroh.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And every time he says, damn, I'm glad you got that.
I got in on a recall. So they'd recalled the lady in Brush, and that's when I ran and got it. So I'm on my second term now. The first term was 3 out of the 4 years. She did the first leg of it. So I finished off the last 3. So, but yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. The field house. I know that was voted down quite a bit in the past years, right?
Well, the recreation side of Morgan has had just the armory. I mean, it didn't suit the needs for what they wanted to do for the recreation side of things in Morgan. We've got a hell of a baseball field down at Riverside Park and that, and they did that. What was it? One Morgan County, where they were going to have a county-wide recreation district.
Morgan Strong or something.
Morgan Strong.
Yep.
Morgan Strong. Yeah, and that came in, and we had been in the process of moving forward with the field house,
right?
For Fort Morgan side of things, and people get a lot of that misconstrued. That we voted that down, and you guys went ahead and built it anyway. We were already doing it. We had went and got the financing and borrowed the money for it, and that's where the $10 million came up. Had we built that or proceeded with it, Morgan Strong would have had to buy that from the city or pay pay for it. So when that got voted down, we went ahead and did it. And like I said earlier, Steve was tasked by council to, you got $10 million, build us what you can. They came in under the $10 million pretty substantially. Like I said, they used local businesses. Big Johnson constructed it and did a hell of a job. That facility is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a nice place. I do boot camps over there in the mornings with Sella.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a nice place to work out.
Yeah, it is. It is really, really something for Steve to put a feather in his hat.
I've not had a chance to go check it out yet. I should cruise over and check it out. But no, it's something cool. I mean, it's good for the city. It's good for the community to have something like that, So, because the one big peeve I have is when people tell me there's nothing to do for the kids. I'm like, come on, man. That's because they have no imagination anymore.
Well, they sit and play
if it's not on the phone, they're not interested, man.
Yeah, I know. We went out to dinner one night. Look around, and it's amazing. Nobody is visiting. The whole table is like this, waiting for their meal.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what my pet peeve is with phones. I went to Bob Stock just happened.
Yep.
I didn't get to go last night. Starship fan. But I like Eve 6. That's my generation. So I went to the Friday night concert. And I'm jamming out, man. That's what concerts are for. And I look around, and what are people doing?
On their phone.
Or they're filming the damn concert. Put the damn phone down and enjoy the moment, man.
I know.
Be in the moment, I mean, I understand that your favorite song is played, I guess, to tape it, or film it. Why, man?
Right.
And play music what's better than listening to live music on a warm summer night? There's nothing, dude.
For free,
yeah. For God's sakes. And that Bob Stock has gotten massive, man. That thing has gotten so big.
Man, I'll tell you what, Wayne Johnson and his daughters put on a phenomenal event for Fort Morgan.
When Bob Stock first started, my ex-wife now, but my wife at the time worked out at KFTM for Wayne, so I got, we helped set it all up and all that.
Marty?
Yep. And and the first one was down there in the
Riverside
Park.
Right.
Beer garden was in the little ice rink.
Hockey rink,
yep.
Wow. So it's came a long way since that first year.
Well, Morgan County is growing, man, as it'll continue to grow. So
it is. We have some pretty unique events. Like I said, Wayne Johnson and Melissa and Lindsay and them, they do a fantastic job with that one. We got the car shows.
Right.
There's a lot of pretty decent events that come in here.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's something for the kids to do.
For the kids.
Okay. Well, Ron, what we do is we rock, paper, scissors to see who has to try and guess first on which one is not true. Ron, when you rock, paper, scissors, how do you do it? 3.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. I am telling you.
That's 2 in a row.
That's 2 in a row. Dude,
so defeated.
It's, for me, it's crazy because the first year we did it, the 4 pumping thing that he does dominated the 3 pumping. It was not even close.
Yeah, because I'll go rock, paper, scissors, then shoot.
See, I'm with you, Ron. I go boom, boom.
Yeah, I always did it as a kid, was 3.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. And you know what's crazy, Ron? Did you know there was a difference between it before it came up? Did you know there are 2 different ways to do it?
No.
See, neither did I until we figured it out. We were doing it 2 different ways. Yeah.
Okay, enlighten me. I want to learn my something for the day. Then.
So, like you and I do, we go boom, boom, and then show you whatever. He goes rock, paper, scissors, and then shows.
Yeah, so I go a 4th one and then whatever
before he shoots. So we didn't understand. I was shooting before he was shooting, and that's why I kept getting my ass kicked, Ron. I couldn't figure out.
I couldn't figure out why I was throwing rock every time. Yeah. And I'm like, well, because I'm not done. That's why.
Yeah. I'm getting old, Ron. I ain't got time for the extra pump shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always done it 3.
It's crazy. I don't think people realize there's 2 different ways to do it. And it's getting to be like a contentious thing where people are like, why would you do it the other way? People get so crazy about it. It's like, 'cause it's the right way, you animals. So we're doing 3 again.
We're doing 3 again.
All right. We did 4 just now, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, you're starting to pollute my mind, you bastard.
You threw paper last time, so I thought, and I
yeah.
threw scissors, so I'm thinking, okay, he's thinking I'm going to do scissors, so he's going to go rocks on it.
It's like battle strategy right now.
Yeah,
Like we try to get each other's heads, we stare each other against you.
I could see where yours would be logical.
Yeah. Nah, man. Ready, set, go. Down, set, hut.
There
Here goes
you go.
3, man. That 4 pump shit. That's the devil's work. That's Lucifer's
Lucifer's
work, man. Okay. Do you have one in mind?
Not at all.
You did a good job, Rod. Those are 3 great stories.
No idea.
Do you have one you think might be true? Absolutely.
No.
You think
Well, all of them.
Okay.
Like, it's going to be just a stupid guess, but if I get this right, I'm going to say Reno job gone wrong. Just because I've never seen a generator blow up lights before. That's the only reason. Because I was an electrician. I've never seen metal halide lights explode. I'm not saying it won't, but I've never seen it or heard of it. So that's the only reason why I pick it up.
Okay. I think the Halloween porch prank is true. That's a fun story with friends. You tell people because you got a buddy who gets shit on his face, and so you tell everybody, right? That is my game, Ron. If it happened to my friends, if it happened to me, we would never talk about it. I would never bring it up in conversation. But if it happened to him, I'd be like, "Remember the time you got shit on your face, Adam, trying to get that guy?" I would. You wouldn't live it down. That's all I'll say. The Reno job gone wrong. I'm gonna say that's true too. I'm gonna go with the collecting a debt from a friend. Now, I'm reluctant to take that one because sometimes on this podcast, people have crazy, outrageous stories that are true, and that's why they bring it on because that is obviously what I call a trap, because it's a crazy-ass story to where someone like me is like, I don't know, man. So I'm going to trust that's not the situation here, so I'm going to go with a collecting debt from a friend. I mean, I think that most of that might have been true, but maybe the part with you throwing the gas or something, maybe the exaggerated part. That's where I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to go collecting debt from a friend. You're going to go with
Reno job gone wrong.
Ron, you want to flip that board over and see what's going on? Halloween week got us both. He got us both. I'll be damned.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, Ron. What is not true about the Halloween prank?
Steve didn't get shit on his face.
Oh. Oh. You know what? Congratulations, Ron. That's hard to do. It's hard to do when we both pick one.
Yeah, when we pick different. So,
yeah.
I mean,
when we team up on
odds are in our
one,
favor.
yeah, the odds are going in your favor. Wow. So he didn't get shit on his face. So the Reno job gone wrong is true.
It is. It was. He cranked the voltage or the amperage,
up on that
generator.
Wow.
And that blows it, huh? Didn't you? Well, see, you learned something new.
I learned something new.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the collecting debt from a friend,
that was 100% true story.
Wow.
True story.
Crazy Ron Schaefer to story. Oh. And you know if that guy's still alive or not, or any of that?
Yeah, he is.
Is he really?
Still alive, yeah. I have guys that we went through high school, and dropping quicker than I like. But, yeah, he's still out there scamming again.
I'll be damned.
He last I heard, he had started a church. Oh, and the reason for the church is because tax exempt.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, he's a scammer. He'll never lose it. And
they're starting to crack down on that too, though. That tax exempt from the church stuff. Certain churches, man. So I don't know. It's and the sad part is, Ron, I hate to say this, although you made your point that day. If he's that much of a scammer, that's probably something that doesn't even poke up in his mind anymore. He's probably been threatened and his life threatened, and probably people try to kill him all the time. So
I know he's had his guns pointed at him. He's been threatened with gas. He's been in prison.
Right.
So how he got out of prison, I mean, just a stroke of luck because it wasn't too much longer after that they passed that law if you were within a certain distance of a school.
Right.
His house that he was doing that at backed up right to a school playground. So
I'll be down. You know what? And that's a great law, by the way.
It is. It's a fantastic law.
I agree with it 100%, man.
And I agree it should have went retroactive a week or two, however short period of time.
Right. Yeah, if you're within a school, distance of a school, I mean, those kids are right by your house. That's a hell of a. I mean, you shouldn't have it anywhere in town, but I mean, if it's gonna be that close to a child, man. No dice.
Well, and the amount of shit he was producing in there was unbelievable.
Right.
And next to a school, what do they do? They usually blow up, and they're a pretty nasty explosion. Why would you do that?
I was next to one when it happened.
Oh, really?
I was in the house next door when it happened. But I was on the podcast.
One of my stories.
Yeah, it was one of my stories. I saw a guy on fire running down the street. Being from Rush, Colorado, Ron, I grew up here.
Oh, did
before I moved to Pueblo for years. But yeah, so that kind of shit, I wasn't around ever. Huh. I didn't, the meth stuff, I'm sure it was in town back in the early 90s, late 80s, but I was oblivious to it,
Yeah, I'd look at it and what you use to make it. Hell, they were using brake cleaner fluid and all that. Oh, really? And you're going to jab that stuff into your body?
Out of control.
What a dumbass.
You are a dumbass. So, but you know what? It's a problem.
It is a problem. It is a problem.
What do you do about it, though?
Well,
it's a monster. It's hard to contain. So
see, Biden's just going to start handing out crack pipes to people who want it. What the hell is that?
I don't know. I might grab one just in case. The end of the world comes. I don't want to be sober when that meteor hits, Ron. That's all I gotta say. I want to be hearing the voices like on the TV, like what you fucking voices are talking about. But the meteor's on its way, so get it out now. Voices in my head. So
I don't want to hear nothing. Just take it.
Right. Before we go, Ron, one more plug for the NRA, man. So we're going to put your links below so they can find the events. How many events did you say you do a year?
We do one a year.
Okay.
They have them, the Friends of NRA are done all over Colorado. They have a district representative that does it for us. We have one here in Fort Morgan. That's at the banquet itself is actually in Wiggins. They have one in Akron. Greeley, so they're scattered out at different times. Right. They're all over the state, and then they have their state banquet, which is a culmination of all of them. Usually in November. I think this year's in November 14th.
Right. With the current state of affairs in this country, Ron, has the NRA been getting more popular, or has it been tougher?
Gun sales have gone through the roof. I think Obama and Biden have been great. Representatives for Remington and the gun sales.
Right. So it's been better for them, for the NRA.
Yeah, so. It has. They've taken a lot of heat. I know there's a lot of people that protest them and want everything. They don't agree with it, so it's got to be.
Yeah. Give it a month. They'll be pissed off with something else.
Yeah.
In this country anymore, if they're mad at something, just write it out, man.
Write it out.
There'll be something that's going to be pissed off at in a month. So
without a doubt.
People's outrage goes only as far as their convenience or their comfort will allow it to.
Exactly right.
So when it's not cool to be pissed off at it anymore, don't worry. It'll be, I don't know. I'm a big football fan, and so everybody's pissed off at the NFL. I was like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I can land some cheap tickets. That's what I heard. You know what I mean? Those ratting bastards sell me those tickets for $10 so I can throw them away, wiping my ass with them. Whatever I gotta tell you, throw them my way.
So I can sit right on the 50-yard line.
That's all I can, next to the beer stand. Whatever it takes, man. I'm not proud. So
clubhouse, so you can get beers right there and watch the game.
That's pretty dangerous, Ron.
Yeah, it is.
And I hate to see the inflation, the Broncos prices this year for beers. It's going to be. I'm going to have to smuggle in a bottle of whiskey like a prison or something. You know what I mean?
Well, what were they, like $5.50, $6 a beer at the game now?
Yeah.
If it stays track with fuel,
oh man,
you're going to be paying $15 a beer.
The end of April, I went up to. I was up there for a monster truck thing. Like a bottle of water was like $7.50. Wow. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm really thirsty, but I just can't order a $7.50 bottle of water.
I'd rather just slaughter you and drink your blood, woman. That's
God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is crazy. And and part of it, the sad part is it's part inflation. It's part because they can.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Working the system
because they can, and I guess. God bless capitalism.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? If I was in that position, I'd probably rape you on the price, too.
Capitalism or corruption.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, man. So, Ron, I got to tell you 3 great stories, and I'll give you props. I thought the Halloween one was absolutely true. That was the one in my head. I thought, well, that one's probably legit. So, it's hard to fool both of us.
Well, when Steve lit it and it was the gas, he did not run out of gas. He didn't quit running until he was the one that went under the fence into the drive-in.
Right. That's awesome. Well, Ron,
I just added the slap in the face.
Because that's what you deep down wanted to see. Like,
I did.
I hope shit got him somewhere. Because, hey, you know what? That's how you know you're good friends with somebody. You love them. You want the best for them. But you kind of enjoy when shit happens to them.
But I want to laugh.
You want to have some kind of dirt on them to rub in their face. So, Ron, you were great, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad Christine told me about. Well, I'm glad Ryan had it, and I got to watch his. That was right. You guys do a good deal.
I take suggestions. If you have a buddy or something you think would do well, let me know, man. We'd love to have him on, man. So
I'll call Steve, see if he'll come and give some of his.
That'd be great. And you know what? You're welcome to come back one of these days.
Hey, I would enjoy that. I had a list of about 9 of them, and I was like,
That's cool.
Okay, which ones? I got these 3. This one I can ad-lib that. So
there's 2 different kind of people that come on this podcast. Some of them that say, I don't have any stories. And then it turns out they have some of the best stories. And then guys that they're people that are like, I don't know how to narrow them down. You know, and then they also do awesome. So it's fun to watch. So, but Ron, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Once again, for all Ron's stuff, you can check it out in the description below. We'll have links to all his websites or however to get a hold of the NRA stuff, so you can check it out and go to the events and support that locally. And thank you again, man.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I'll be back.
I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Vokey.
Catch you next time. Bye.